Welcome back, guys. Automotive Inc. here today. I brought back the professional truck driver so he can check out the new Powerboost. So he does currently have an F-150 that has the Coyote, and we'll touch on that with him. But we want to get his driving impressions. We'll have him get the hell on this thing. We'll have him see it. Again, he's used to the V8s, likes that, enjoys that, and he is a Ford enthusiast. So we'll talk to him about, see if this would be something he would buy, see if he would enjoy, and we'll go from there. All right, so out on the road, again, we have the professional truck driver. Welcome back.
Hello.
All right, so you've had a few minutes to kind of drive this truck. Initial impressions, exterior, interior, good, bad, and different from your truck. What do you think?
So far, so good. I really like it. It's a good-looking truck. It feels great to drive. Very solid, very smooth, very quiet. So far, I'm enjoying the Powerboost. This is my first chance to be in one of these. So far, so good. Good, because you currently have the Coyote. So what year of truck do you have again? It's a 2015 Coyote motor. And roughly 110,000 miles on it, so it's still running good. Never had any issues with it, so far so good with that thing.
And yours has the what transmission?
It is the 6-speed, and I want to say it's 373 gears or something like that. So, or no, 331s. I think it's got on there. So,
okay, so the 331s will definitely help with fuel economy, obviously. Guys that are new to the channel, or just new, or guys and gals that are new, the higher the number, the better towability, if you will. Again, half-ton trucks have their limitations no matter what. However, some trucks, depending on the gearing and engine setup, you can get up to the 13,000 pound range now in half-tons, which, you know, if you get something more over a baby box, you can tow more. 331s would be kind of in that fuel sipper range. That doesn't negate it, because in that year, the Coyote was the beast to be pulling with. So now the Coyote and the Powerboost kind of split differences. So this is the most powerful non-Raptor Ford pickup out there, even over the Coyote. So
it is, yep. And it's a great. That's what I love about Ford, is they give you a great range of options. I mean, I think, what do they got, like 5 or 6 different motors you can choose from. So
yeah.
And it's this one here, I think, would be one heck of a deal to get. So
yeah, this year they did drop the standard non-turbo engine out of the lineup. It's gone. Nobody wanted that. So before you had a premium to step to a 2.7 EcoBoost, 2.7 is now the standard engine. So your free engine, I guess, if you will, which I think is a good little engine. It has a cast iron block, tons of power, and that 3.5 or 3.3, whatever the heck it was, the naturally aspirated one, it was kind of just you know, it just didn't blow your mind. It didn't do anything like that.
And it was very limited in what you can put it in. You know, you're looking at like a 2-wheel drive, maybe single, regular cab type truck, and really not a whole lot you can do with it. You definitely won't find any here up in the mountains, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Now, interior, when it comes to interior versus yours, not necessarily a fair comparison, because for that year they didn't have all of this other stuff, but you've driven newer Fords. What's your impression of, say, these gauges? I know I have an issue with the new Super Duty that are all LCD. What do you think of these?
This is the perfect combo between LCDs and analog. So for my liking, this setup right here would be perfect. Yeah, I don't like all digital displays. So this kind of splits the perfect between two worlds there. So this, for me, I think would work out just fine. I like it.
Good. What do you think of this big, huge monster screen?
It is exactly that. But it's nice. It is very user friendly, and it gives you, all the info you'd want or need. So, and it works out great for the driver and the passenger. So, it's very nice.
Now, you've been in hybrid mode now for about a mile, kicked back in. Do you feel any difference between transitions between hybrid versus the engine kicking in?
No, not at all, which is surprising. You can tell when the motor turns back on, because you can kind of hear it, but there's no clunky or clicking or anything weird going on that you would kind of expect with something like that. But no, it's a very smooth transition. So basically, the best way you can tell it's coming on, that the motor's turning back on, is that the speedometer, the tachometer goes, up to its RPM range. So that's really the only way you can kind of tell that it's transferring from electric to the gas motor again. So
right.
But it's nice.
It's very definitive brake feel, so the hybrid does have a little bit of brake feel because we have regenerative braking, but it still has a good brake feel, right? I mean, it is a little bit different. Can you tell the difference between a standard? Do you feel kind of that growl sometimes? But
absolutely, and it's kind of nice though, actually, and it feels good and it feels strong. It feels like you're really slowing down without having to put a whole lot of effort into anything. So me personally, I like that, and since it's doing its regen, it's sending power back to the batteries, so that actually takes power to do that. So it's kind of a cool setup. So, and I would think with towing coming down the hill that's like extra braking for you. So I think you're going to get the best of both worlds with that deal. So I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we're going to get up here shortly where he can actually get on it. But one of the big changes for, obviously, this from a 15 is they changed the mirrors. The mirrors are different. There's no little spotter or eagle eye, bird eye, whatever you want to call that little mirror in there. And they dropped the look down. What's your thoughts?
I personally like my mirrors better. I do love the spot mirrors that are on my truck. I use them a lot. And but as far as I can tell, there's really no like blind spots or anything like that with these particular mirrors. But aesthetically looking, I don't care for the way they drop down opposed to mine go up and over. So but they're still very functional. So as far as the mirrors go, I guess they'd be all right.
Okay. And one thing I could tell you is coming from the Ram, the way the Ram built their mirrors, and it may have been from the auto dimming ones, but it had like a kind of a weird blur to it. I appreciate how the Ford Super Duties, the Ford half tons, everything, the mirrors are very clear, just like the Chevy. And that's nice to me because I use the mirrors a ton. You use the mirrors a ton as a truck driver. And when you look into them constantly, if you're getting kind of nauseous because there's kind of like this weird blur to them, it's kind of weird. And you guys would have to actually go out there and check out a Ram and then look at a Ford mirror or a Chevy mirror, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There is a weird distortion, but it is what it is. You had a chance to kind of look at this 12-inch navigation, some of the cool features to it. What's your thought on that?
I love it. It's really easy to use. It's large enough, and it's all touch screen, so you can actually use it quite easily on the fly. So that's realistically the way it should be. So I mean, it's a lot like your phone. So if you're used to using the Google Maps on your phone, this is pretty similar, and it's really easy to use. And I know, especially back in the old days, they were so complicated and hard to use, but man, this one it's got everything you need. So so far so good. Excellent.
Now we haven't gotten on it yet, but from driving a V8 powered Coyote F-150, impressions of the power here. 430 horsepower, 570 pounds of torque. Again, the most powerful non-Raptor Ford pickup. What you're thinking versus a V8? Is it?
Well, it's yeah. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. I don't typically buy a Coyote motor for its outlandish horsepower. So, but it's give or take. It's basically what your demand is, what you need. So for what I needed, I don't do a whole lot of towing. I do a lot of hauling. I haul the dirt bikes and camping gear and moving people's furniture, stuff like that. So a 5-liter is great for stuff like that. So but if I was gonna tow, if I did have a heavy trailer of any kind and towed a lot, I think this motor, the Powerboost would be on the list. So
right. And one plus is we can see right here, you haven't changed your driving habits from the way you normally drive your pickup, right? You're kind of...
No, it's about the same so far, yeah.
Would you be pretty tickled if your Coyote got 23 miles a gallon?
Absolutely.
In town?
In town, absolutely. Now, I blow a lot of people away with, because I have proof of it. I took a 310-mile trip to the Four Corners, and mostly highway driving, no interstate, no nothing like that. So it was pretty mild driving the entire way there. 310 miles. That truck with the Coyote got 25.4 miles to the gallon. Haven't seen it since, but it is capable of pretty decent fuel mileage. So
Right, and I wonder if it'll even be even better with the Coyote now with the 10-speed. Watchers out there can obviously comment on that, because I think that Ford continues to offer that engine, and obviously they're improving fuel economy in all these trucks. So I would be interested to see what a Coyote with a 10-speed would do.
Yes, absolutely. I wondered that myself. So, and you know, like you said, I got the higher gear ratio with mine, and it does reflect on the fuel mileage. So, and that is proof right there. But typically on my day-to-day driving, I bet if we were to go into my truck right now and look at it, I bet you it's above 19 miles to the gallon with day-to-day driving. So,
yeah,
which is still excellent for a half-ton pickup with a gas motor. So,
yeah, gas V8 engine.
Yeah, V8. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we're going to get up here in a minute and get on this thing. We'll see his impressions, because obviously he jumps on his and gets on the highway. We're going to see how he does from basically a full stop to get on the highway. And maybe we'll see how fast we can get this thing up to. I'd be interested to see how fast that digital speedo over there will get going. So we'll do that. All right, guys. So we are going to basically not necessarily do a 0 to 60 time. We know this thing's fast as all get out, but compared to a Coyote, we put it in sport mode. We're going to see, and what's funny is his fuel economy is actually getting better the more he drives. This run will probably drop that a smidge, but I'm just going to see your face, your impression as we get on the highway here, and then let's just kind of see if it'll get up to us 100 or something or other.
All right, here we go. There's 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. There's 100. And we're gonna rear end the horizon here in a minute. So,
so I think it did dip up there to 103 miles per hour by the time we even got to the end of the ramp. How did my hips sat back in the seat?
Yeah, my guts and everything are rearranged there a little bit, but no, that is quite impressive. And I've driven 3.5 EcoBoost before, but man, yeah, that was something. And it was just as smooth as glass, super quiet. I mean, my Coyote would have been making all kinds of growling noises, which is great to hear. But man, oh man, that was quite impressive.
It almost felt so fast because I haven't even driven the truck this fast. So the professional truck driver is the one's going to take the Powerboost to not even the top speed, but up to 103. It was a seamless, smooth. It was almost like the torque just stayed there. In some transmissions, you know, you can feel like those transition streams of gears, and it kind of lets up a little bit, and then you're back into it. I mean, it just kind of felt like a rocket taking off. Like almost you need to slow down.
Yeah,
because it was going so fast.
Yeah, realistically, I mean, yeah, once it got to that 100 mark, I'm like, oh, okay, but it felt like it was just going to keep going, and it's kind of curious to make you wonder where's the limit to this thing. So
yeah, the analog shuts off what 120 over there.
Yeah,
so
yeah, God, dang, that's a lot for a pickup truck, but man, it sure did do it effortlessly. So
yeah, I saw the corners of your mouth smile a little bit once we dipped up there. Not that the Coyote wouldn't do 100 miles there, but it's more so the fastest, how seamless, quiet it was, just right up there, because it's like you just keep on going. When's it gonna stop? Versus some of them, it makes so much noise getting up there. You're like, okay, it's going 103. It felt like we're working to get there. It was fast enough, but this felt to me really fun. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was cool to check out, and that's not something you get to do every day. So it's interesting to see. So and it just, yeah, like I said, just as smooth as glass doing it. Mine, you can hear and feel that it's going that fast, but this was just so smooth, man. It feels like it's going to get you in trouble. So you really got to watch it. Yeah,
I felt like when we were like third, fourth gear on the ramp there, it almost like the wheels locked or spun off the ground a little bit. We lost a little bit of traction, but yes. Again, we don't have performance tires on here. We have the factory all-terrain city tire. It's all-terrain meaning pavement.
Yeah.
but I mean, it stayed locked in good.
Yeah, it did. And one thing I couldn't quite pay attention to when you're doing a run like that, but I was curious to, when you're on the throttle that hard, if it skips gears upshifting or not. I don't know if it would have done that, but that'd be an interesting thing to see. Yeah,
I know in the past that has been the 10 speeds mantra is skip shifting. I haven't paid any attention to it, and I couldn't see the little, this does have a gear selector over there in the RPM, or sorry, in the tech It does have a 10-speed monitor. It could have skip shift. I know Chevy prides itself on not skip shifting, especially at the Allison, but in the half tons maybe. I know there is scuttlebutt that this 10-speed was developed with GM, and some people hate it, some people love it, some people have had problems with it, most people have not. So it is what it is. You're going to have problems with all of them, but yeah, I would be interested to see if it skip shifted too, in that type of run. Maybe something we'll have to address later, see if we can get a view of that. But to me, it just felt like just a rocket. I didn't really feel any shifts. I could hear them, but I didn't feel them.
No, yeah, the whole thing was just seamless. And I mean, the next thing you know, I mean, it was going in tens. Like you're at 50, 60, 70, 80, and then before you know it, you're at 100. So I mean, that for a pickup truck, that is crazy.
Yeah, and if we take a little shot over here, again, 22.8 miles a gallon. So it really didn't even drop that much, even though we were kind of playing around with getting on it and stuff. So now we're almost back. You've had some rental GM trucks at work. The seats are what, in your view, how do the GM seats fare against Ford and Ram?
They're very firm, and I really don't even remember them being all that supportive as well. Like these seats are very comfortable and they're supportive, like the bolsters and everything. I fit in them perfectly. So, but GM seats are firm. Dodge seats, Ram trucks, yeah, they're not that bad. They're actually pretty good. So, and we get a lot of different trucks at work, so I test them all.
Right. So in comparison, what's your thought? Who has the most comfortable seats of the big three?
So far, I would have to say Ford at this point.
And if you were out there looking at a new half-ton today, obviously yours is still going good. You're over 100K, no problems really, anything other than regular maintenance. If you were going to look at a half-ton truck, do any of them even remotely seem fun to drive, the Chevys, the Rams, compared to, say, what this one is today, the Ford?
Well, so if I was going to spend money to get another half-ton truck, I would literally go drive them all. I'm not just gonna single out the rest, or discontinue the rest of them just because I own Fords in the past. So I would go look at all of them. I'd test drive them, and but the bottom line is, it's just from what I can tell and what I've done so far with all the other vehicles and trucks I've driven, it's probably going to be the Ford F-150 at this point.
Awesome. So the Ford F-150 Powerboost, get your thumbs up?
Absolutely. 2 thumbs up. We're going to go with 2 this time.
All right, guys. Well, that is the professional driver's review of the new Powerboost F-150. And as much as I'm enjoying it, I think he enjoyed it. And we'll get everybody out here and we'll test drive this thing some more. So smash the subscribe button, give me a like, and we'll see you on the next one.